This is the new KTM 390 Enduro R. Now this one is the fourth iteration based on the 390 platform after the Duke, RC390 and the 390 Adventure. Now this one is a more off-road biased machine compared to the 390 Adventure, as this one is a dual purpose machine designed for off-road as well as road use. Now we are riding this motorcycle today to let you folks know how this motorcycle is to ride, what all other features, how capable this machine is off-road, and a fair bit of off-road that we got to ride today. Now do bear with us that we haven't got the prices of this machine today to give you a proper verdict in terms of pricing. But nevertheless, there is a lot to be spoken about this machine to let you know all about the new 390 Enduro R. But before we get going, if you are new to our channel, do subscribe to Car and Bike for the latest news, reviews and updates from the world of cars and bikes from Car and Bike. So let's quickly take a look at the design and features. Starting at the front, you got a tall beak design. This takes inspiration from the 690 Enduro R, which is a Dakar winning motorcycle from KTM. So you have the same design approach of a proper enduro machine. And the plastic panels on this motorcycle, you have a very minimalistic view profile with it, and this plastic is made of PP grade, so you can literally, this can take a lot of abuse with all the kind of off-roading that you can do with the machine. Even the graphics are molded into the panels, so even if you have a fall, this graphic design will not get scraped away. At the front, for the headlamp, you get an full LED lighting. The turn indicators are also LED. Then you have got a 21/18-inch wheel setup. You get wire spoke wheels. These are tube type wheels, do note that. And you get Mitas off-road and dual purpose focus tires. These are the Enduro Trail Plus tires. You get a compact 9-liter fuel tank, and the handlebar is a single piece handlebar. The seat height is 860 mm. This is a flat bench seat, and the cushioning that has been done is pretty decent on it. It is not too soft, but also at the same time not too hard as well. The motorcycle uses the same chassis. The rake angle is slightly different on this motorcycle to match the Enduro character. So you get a steel trellis frame over here. The rear subframe is slimmer to match the profile and to make the overall, the spine of the bike thin. Let's quickly talk about the features on the 390 Enduro R. So you get a compact 4.1-inch TFT screen over here, and in first impression wise, I really like how nicely KTM has packed so much information into this small display. So you get a very nice and clean look of what all information you need. You get an RPM gauge, you get a gear position indicator, you get a speedometer, you get 2 riding modes. So you got street and you got off-road, but you can tweak both these modes in terms of how you want the traction control. You can turn it off, or you get off-road mode. Apart from that, you also get ABS mode, where you got dual channel ABS at both ends, and you can turn it off for the rear, and you can also completely turn it off with a dedicated switch that is located on the left switch gear. So you long press it and then ABS gets deactivated at both ends. You can also change how the display is set up. You got options to a minimalistic view and a detailed view of what all information is displayed on the cluster. Well, that's about the design and features of the 390 Enduro R. Now let's talk about the rider ergonomics and riding position. So I'm 5'7" and I'm getting on the motorcycle. So the seat height is 860 mm. I'm wearing off-road boots, and yet I'm not able to touch my heel on the ground. So it's kind of a tiptoeing case for me, but yet it is not something that is depriving me of in terms of confidence to get on the motorcycle and be to saddle on it. That being said, the rider triangle is quite direct. You have got a very engaging stance, and the single piece wide handlebar gives you a lot of leverage while you're off-roading or while you're riding this motorcycle on the road. What KTM has done over here is that they have given 3 settings for the handlebar. So where the base of the handlebar is mounted, so you got 3 settings. You can either move the handlebar 1 step ahead or 1 step at the rear. So it is easier for you to reach depending on your upper torso, how you are placed. The mount for the foot peg, you can flip it around so you can slightly change positioning of the foot pegs to get an even better, like what suits your riding triangle better. But apart from that, the narrow profile of the motorcycle lets you hug the motorcycle really well. Even when you are standing up and riding the motorcycle, the slim profile of the motorcycle allows you to move the weight very easily. That helps a lot while you're off-roading on this motorcycle. The seat, like I told you, it is soft but not firm, so it's the sweet balance between comfort as well as the sportier one which you'll want when you are off-roading on this machine. So in my books, I'm pretty much okay with how the ergonomics are. If I keep one foot on top, so I'm able to comfortably, flat foot with the other. So that being said, for someone of my height, it shouldn't be a problem to manage this motorcycle despite the 860 seat height.
In the powertrain department, the 390 Enduro R is powered by the same 399cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled mill, but in this setup, the motor is tuned to produce 45.3 bhp and 39 Nm of peak torque. Mated to it is a slick 6-speed gearbox with a bi-directional quick shifter and a slipper clutch. Now, while the international spec 390 Enduro R comes with even longer suspension travel, which means a taller seat height and added ground clearance, KTM India wanted to keep the bike's dimensions accessible to Indian riders and hence has opted to drop the suspension travel. So yes, we also do feel that the India spec could have been called just the 390 Enduro and the R spec version could have been offered to cater to experienced off-road buyers.
So that's a very potent combination of a very peppy motor and a really well-kitted cycle parts with the 390 Enduro R. So before we get going with the ride and handling bits of the machine, let me give you folks a quick listen on the exhaust note of this machine. Do let us know in the comments what you think about that. We are starting with the first stage of the experience. This is the mini enduro track that has been curated. A couple of jumps and a log crossing, and then you got some bank corners as well. So let's hop on the bike and let's get going. The mini enduro track is quite tight, but it is quite demanding as well. The 390 nature with all that power. KTM calls it a beginner motorcycle to get into the enduro business, but I feel this motorcycle has got enough and power and lot of might to do more than what a beginner motorcycle can do with this machine. The more you ride this motorcycle, the more comfortable I am getting on it. The power does feel a bit too much at the start, but as you ride it more and more, you get a better feel and understanding of how to use the throttle and the clutch. This is the second obstacle course. So now the TC is on off-road mode, but yet it allows you to let the tail kick out as you open the throttle. Yes, you can also turn it off completely by turning it off, and you also have this dedicated switch to turn off ABS as well completely. After riding on the first obstacle course, this one just becomes quite easy because you get a good taste of the capabilities of this motorcycle. compared to adventure motorcycles wherein they are more for touring and a fair bit of off-roading, like a 70-30 configuration. Over here with an Enduro, you're looking more of an 50-50 ratio. The Pro Dot boys have definitely made it a point to give us a good experience, in fact a proper thorough experience of what the 390 Enduro R is capable of. Oof. And we have only got started with the experience part. A lot more to go ahead. There you go. It doesn't take much time to get a good feel of the brakes. There is lots of feedback, so you can feed in the brakes smoothly despite being riding on the terrain. They're going downhill now. Just move the weight a bit behind. Let gravity do its job. There you go. Let's go! Woo! So we're riding on the third obstacle course. The very tight course that between the trees to understand the agility of the Enduro R. So that was quite an intense off-road session that we had on the 390 Enduro R. And I must say this motorcycle really shines out there in the off-road when you are kicking up dirt and getting that tail to slide and jumping over boulders, rocks, ditches or whatever that comes in your path. And the courtesy to all that goes to how this suspension has been set up on the motorcycle. So you get open cartridge USD forks at the front, you get 30 clicks at the front and you get 20 clicks at the rear. Both are fully adjustable. You get compression and rebound at the front and you get preload and compression at the rear. So that being said, you can nicely set up the motorcycle as per to your liking, as per to your weight and how you want the motorcycle to react in the off-road environments that you're riding on. Apart from that, the ground clearance is very good. You got 253 mm of ground clearance, so you can pretty much clear all sorts of terrains that you are placed with in riding this motorcycle. Yes, the international spec slightly gets more suspension travel, so there's more ground clearance. Here you get 200 mm travel at the front, 205 at the rear, but from what we rode today, I think this is pretty good and does do the job pretty well. The motor is producing 45.3 bhp and 39 Nm of peak torque. So that being said, there is no need of you don't fall short of power or torque anywhere. And along with that, the tune is slightly tweaked to match the enduro character of this machine. And also the final drive, you get 2 teeth more, so you get 1448 sprocket setup as compared to 1446 on the 390 Adventure. The brakes on this motorcycle also have been pretty well tuned and calibrated. You have a good amount of bite and as well as feedback at the front, so even when you're off-roading, you can just use your 1 or 2 fingers depending on your preference. You can adjust it with the help of the adjustable levers for the clutch and the brake. The tires on the off-road sections that we have ridden, these Mitas tires have really done a splendid job in offering the kind of feedback when it comes to grip or even letting the tail slide. That being said, it really has, it really, covers up and fulfills all the other characters that the motorcycle has to offer. So that's all about the KTM 390 Enduro R. But do let us know in the comments what you think should be the pricing of this machine. I'm thinking somewhere in the ballpark of 3 lakh is what should be a sweet spot. But you guys do let know what you think should be the pricing of this machine. That being said, if you have liked this video, do give it a thumbs up and do share it with your friends, and especially those who are planning to buy this machine. I'm Janak and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching Car and Bike.